Alright folks, welcome back. Sending you the absolute biggest virtual hug and wishing you nothing but amazing health, overflowing energy, and pure positive vibes today and always. Seriously, taking care of yourselves is priority number one, so wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're feeling strong and ready to tackle a question that trips up so many people. Get ready, because we're diving headfirst into a topic surrounded by decades of confusion and outdated advice. Is salmon loaded with cholesterol? And if it is, does that mean this pink superstar fish, celebrated for its heart-healthy fats, is actually bad for your heart? Hold on to your hats, because the truth about salmon and cholesterol is way more fascinating and reassuring than you might think, and it completely changes how you should look at this delicious fish. Let's cut straight to the point and address the elephant in the room. Yes, salmon does contain cholesterol. If you look at the nutrition label for a serving of salmon, say about 3 to 4 ounces cooked, you'll see it lists somewhere around 50 to 70 milligrams of dietary cholesterol. Now, if you remember the old-school nutrition advice from maybe 20 or 30 years ago, that number might have sent alarm bells ringing. Back then, the message was loud and clear: cholesterol in food equals cholesterol clogging your arteries. Avoid it. Eggs got demonized, shellfish got shunned, and yes, fatty fish like salmon got put on the naughty list for many people worried about their hearts. That number on the label became the only thing that mattered. But here's the absolutely crucial update that modern science has given us, and it's a game changer. That old way of thinking is mostly wrong, and focusing just on the cholesterol number in salmon is completely missing the bigger, far more important picture. So, what changed? Years and years of rigorous research revealed something fundamental. For the vast majority of healthy people, the cholesterol you eat in foods like salmon, eggs, or shrimp does not have a significant impact on the level of cholesterol in your blood that actually matters for heart disease risk. It turns out our bodies are way smarter than we gave them credit for. Your liver produces cholesterol naturally. It's actually essential for building cells and hormones. When you eat cholesterol from food, your liver usually just adjusts its own production, making a bit less to compensate. It's like a built-in balancing act. What has a much bigger and more direct impact on your blood cholesterol levels, especially the bad LDL cholesterol that can contribute to plaque buildup, is the type of fat you eat, particularly saturated fats and trans fats. These unhealthy fats, found abundantly in things like fatty cuts of red meat, processed meats, bacon, sausage, full-fat dairy products, butter, cheese, cream, fried foods, and many baked goods made with shortening or palm oil, actively signal your liver to produce more LDL cholesterol. They're the real dietary drivers of high blood cholesterol for most people. This is where salmon absolutely shines and why looking only at its cholesterol content is incredibly misleading. Let's look at salmon's fat profile, because this is the key to understanding why it's actually a heart hero, not a villain. Salmon is indeed a fatty fish, but the vast majority of that fat is the incredibly healthy, unsaturated kind. Specifically, it's packed with those famous omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. These are superstar fats your body desperately needs but can't make on its own. They're renowned for their powerful anti-inflammatory effects throughout your body. Inflammation is now understood to be a major underlying factor in heart disease, not just cholesterol alone. Omega-3s help keep your blood vessels flexible and healthy. They help prevent blood clots, they can help lower blood pressure slightly, and they help regulate heart rhythm. Crucially, salmon is very low in saturated fat. That 3 to 4 ounce serving might have only 1 to 2 grams of saturated fat, sometimes even less depending on the type and cooking method. Compare that to a similar-sized serving of a fatty steak, which could easily have 5, 6, even 10 grams or more of saturated fat. So, while salmon has dietary cholesterol, it has minimal amounts of the saturated fat that actually drives your liver to produce problematic LDL cholesterol. Its fat profile is overwhelmingly beneficial. But wait, there's another amazing player in salmon that helps deal with that cholesterol number: selenium. Salmon is an absolutely fantastic source of this essential mineral. Just one serving can provide well over half, sometimes even approaching 100%, of your daily selenium needs. Why is selenium important here? It turns out selenium has a fascinating relationship with mercury, which, thankfully, is very low in salmon too. Mercury can be toxic, and selenium binds to it, helping to neutralize and eliminate it. But selenium also seems to play a protective role regarding cholesterol metabolism and overall heart health. It's a powerful antioxidant, fighting damaging free radicals that can harm your cells, including those lining your blood vessels. While the exact mechanisms are complex, having abundant selenium from a food like salmon provides another layer of cardiovascular protection that helps counterbalance any concern about its dietary cholesterol content. Now, let's talk about what the big health organizations say today, because they've completely shifted their stance based on this mountain of evidence. The American Heart Association, AHA, the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, and other major bodies no longer set a specific daily limit for dietary cholesterol for the general healthy population. They dropped that years ago. Instead, their focus is squarely on limiting saturated fats and trans fats. They actively recommend eating fatty fish like salmon at least twice a week because the benefits of those omega-3 fatty acids are so powerful and well established for heart health. They recognize that the overall nutritional package of salmon, the healthy fats, the high-quality protein, the vitamins, the minerals, far outweighs the outdated concern about its dietary cholesterol content. Think about that, the organizations most focused on preventing heart disease are telling you to eat more salmon, cholesterol content and all. So, does this mean everyone can ignore the cholesterol in salmon? Well, there are a couple of small groups who might still need to be a bit more mindful, although salmon is often still recommended for them. The first group is people with specific genetic conditions, like familial hypercholesterolemia, FH. This is a relatively rare inherited disorder where the body is extremely bad at removing LDL cholesterol from the blood, leading to very high levels from a young age, regardless of diet. People with FH often need medication and very strict dietary management, and their doctors might advise stricter limits on dietary cholesterol sources. The second group is some individuals with type 2 diabetes. Diabetes can affect how the body handles cholesterol, and some studies suggest people with diabetes might be more sensitive to the effects of dietary cholesterol on their blood levels. However, even for people with diabetes, the overwhelming benefits of salmon's omega-3s and lean protein often make it a recommended food. The key takeaway is this: if you don't have FH or specific advice from your doctor/dietitian due to diabetes or another complex condition, the cholesterol in salmon is not a concern for your heart health. In fact, eating salmon is actively good for your heart. What can make salmon less healthy is how you prepare it. Drowning a beautiful salmon fillet in butter, smothering it in a heavy cream sauce, or deep frying it adds significant amounts of saturated fat and calories. That's what could potentially tip the scales negatively. The healthiest ways to enjoy salmon maximize its benefits without adding the bad stuff: baking, grilling, broiling, steaming, or poaching. A simple drizzle of heart-healthy olive oil, a squeeze of fresh lemon juice, and a generous sprinkle of herbs and spices, like dill, garlic powder, paprika, black pepper, is all you need for incredible flavor that keeps it truly heart-friendly. Pair it with loads of colorful vegetables and maybe a small portion of whole grains for a perfectly balanced, cholesterol-conscious, in the right way, meal. So, let's wrap this up with total clarity. Is salmon high in cholesterol? Technically, yes, it contains dietary cholesterol, about 50 to 70 milligrams per serving. Does this mean it's bad for your heart or your cholesterol levels? Resoundingly, no. Decades of scientific research have shown that for the vast majority of people, dietary cholesterol has minimal impact on blood cholesterol levels. The real culprits are saturated and trans fats. Salmon is incredibly low in saturated fat and packed with beneficial omega-3 fatty acids, high-quality protein, selenium, and other nutrients that actively promote heart health. Major health organizations recommend eating salmon regularly because it's so good for your cardiovascular system. Don't let an outdated fear based on an incomplete understanding of nutrition scare you away from this incredible food. Enjoy your salmon grilled, baked, or steamed, savor its delicious flavor, and know you're making a fantastic choice for your heart and your overall health. The cholesterol number is just a tiny footnote in salmon's powerful health story. Thanks so much for watching. Take wonderful care of your hearts and yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next video. Stay healthy and eat well.